The one thing I can guarantee you is that Trump is not going to produce a massive manufacturing revival in this country. That number of, 8% of Americans being involved is not going to go to 15. I'd bet my life on that.
So then what would be your plan for revival of middle America economically?
I mean, historically, what we've done is we run the economy fast and innovative, and then we redistribute. And we find, and part of what we haven't done over the last 30 or 40 years is redistribute. Where are the great worker retraining programs? Where are the great apprenticeship programs? Where are the great technical schools training, plumbers and engineers and people who maybe don't have a college degree but want to make good money? And by the way, you can make very good money in many of those kinds of areas. But we need to scale up all of that. And what's really, the thing I really worry about, we're talking about reviving, the 1950s economy. What's really about to hit us is AI. And AI is going to be, what we're going to have to do is have a serious conversation about what do all of us do. I mean, you guys are probably fine, but
who knows?
Who knows?
But I was thinking about this because the next election will probably be decided. You know how the past elections, Obama was the Twitter president, and maybe this last election was Trump as TikTok or whatever, and the next one will probably be AI, and. What I was really curious about with JD specifically is because he comes from an area of the country that was ravaged by outsourcing. Right. Like Appalachia and Ohio. Totally. I think they give these grants, these Appalachian grants, where I think you just need to pass college, high school, and you get free college anywhere. Yep. Right. Yep. So I'm really curious. I actually just like to hear what you say about how do you make sure that doesn't happen all over the country? You've witnessed what happens when we leave them a section behind. Yeah. And it won't be just Appalachia. This will be major parts of the country.
Look, isn't
there any predictive planning that we can do for this? If we know what industries are going to be impacted, why don't we start leaning into that transition before, not after?
Part of it is it's all happening so fast and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. But I think your intuition, I think, is right. You look at what the CEO of Microsoft says, 30% of the code in Microsoft is now written by AI.
Oh, dude.
Right?
Wow.
So now, there was you say to yourself, okay, I don't need to be a math genius to understand that probably means you need 30% fewer programmers, right?
And you can always justify it by saying my obligation is to the shareholders. Right. So this increases the share price, so we lay off 30% of our staff.
And by the way, they are in a competitive environment where if they don't do it, somebody's going to do it.
That's true.
So think about lawyers. What do young lawyers do when they come on? They do what they call discovery or draft writing of appeals, of court, appeals. These are all easy things for AI to do. David Solomon at Goldman Sachs said that the prospectuses that the investment bankers do, they used to take weeks and weeks. The AI does in 2 or 3 hours.
This is something that came out recently from the Harvard BS reunion. A few weekends ago, this happened. Harvard Business School does a reunion thing. Didn't you go to Harvard?
I went to Harvard, but I got a PhD. I didn't get a business
degree.
Do
a little business
that's why I don't own this podcast. I'm just a guest on it.
So check it. Okay, 57% of Microsoft's software code was written by AI in its most recent quarter. Coca-Cola used AI for the design of 100% of its upcoming holiday marketing campaign. Salesforce is able to handle close to 85% of its customer service-related inquiries with AI tools. The CTO of Moderna was recently appointed to the additional role of the head of HR. The three broad employee groups predicted to be most likely impacted by AI reside within software, financial services, and professional services. JP Morgan expects 80% of its credit underwriting process to soon be handled by AI. 80%.
Well,
a bank is going to get rid of 80% of its workforce.
So here's the sweet irony here, which may be only true temporarily, but the data currently is that computer science majors just graduating have a higher unemployment rate than art history majors.
Wow. That's funny.
Which is kind of sweet.
Yeah,
At least, but it probably won't last. But the reason is probably so many people went into computer science thinking this is the sure thing, and AI is right. And AI does programming really well because
because so many are going into coding, etc.
Yeah.
Now that
remember the whole learn to code trend?
Yes,
you remember this? When people are telling truckers like, "Oh, just learn to code," and now it's like, "Yeah, coders learn to truck."
Well, this is actually to answer what you were talking about earlier. There was one candidate talking about this 6-7 years ago, and nobody cared because we're all going to need a UBI. I don't see a way around needing universal basic income. Andrew Yang said it. We all laughed at him. We all thought he was a fucking idiot. And I think we as people are just so concerned with the problems right in front of us, we're not even thinking about the problems 5-10 years down the road.
So let me ask you what do you guys think about this? So my problem with UBI has always been, I think that human beings need not just money, but dignity.
Yeah, I understand this. I agree.
And so that's one of the reasons this sounds super wonky. I've always preferred something that's called the earned income tax credit, which, just to put it in simple language, what it says is we already have it. If you work a full-time job and you don't hit the what you make is less than the poverty level, the government tops up your wages.
I agree.
And I think we should double that or
we've been doing it
that.
with Walmart for years. Why not do it for everybody?
Here's my
but the question is, I mean, that's expensive, and that's going to you're going to need a lot of money to do. And even there, I worry, like, is there work for people to do in the world that you were just describing, Andrew, where like 80% of the work is done by AI? What will these people do?
UBI is a solution to all of our problems, but again, when 80% of jobs become unnecessary, much quicker than we think. What are we going to do for those 80% of people? It's not like just figure it out.
What would people do in the day? Don't you think they'll feel like...
I can't answer their purpose. No, I don't think we'll be happy. But I do think there's an immediate need, which is a lot of people are probably going to be unemployed soon, and we need something to at least satisfy their survival needs.
There'll just be more services. I think when people aren't doing things, they're not just sitting around, they're just going to be more forms of distraction. I think we'll
give each other massages.
Exactly. The second time you asked about massages. Hey, listen, we're too close to Chinatown for you to be talking.
Robots will do that better than humans too. Don't worry.